Meeting come to order. Can we determine a quorum, please, EJ?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'll begin the call and roll call. Director Scott Houston. Director Desi Alvarez.
Here.
Chairman Tommy Favai.
Here.
President Gloria Gray.
Here,
Director Don Deere.
Here.
Have a quorum.
Thank you, General Manager. Okay, do we have any public comments on the line or here right now?
Mr. Chairman, I've not received any requests for public comment, though this meeting is being held both in person and virtually. If there's any member of the public that's joining us virtually and would like to speak under public comment, please indicate so by raising your virtual. Mr. Chairman, I do not see any requests.
Okay, thank you, EJ. Next up is our presentations. Can we go ahead and start on presentations?
Staff has no presentations today.
All right, our next item is our action calendar. And that's a award of partnership agreement.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This item begins on packet page 3, and it is our only action item for today. It's item 5A. It's to award a partnership agreement with the South Bay Cities Council of Governments. For this presentation, we have Gus Mesa, our Senior Water Policy and Resources Analyst.
Thank you, EJ, and good afternoon, Chairman Provide, committee members, and board of directors. For this item, I'll be using the PowerPoint slides that begin on page 16 of your committee packet. As you know, we have a long-standing and valuable partnership with the South Bay City Council of Governments and their South Bay Environmental Services Center. In this presentation, I'll be covering the tasks and accomplishments that they completed for us for this current fiscal year. And I'll also be providing the tasks and goals that are being proposed next fiscal year. Next slide, please. The South Bay City Council of Governments and South Bay COG is a joint powers authority here in the South Bay. They're comprised of 16 cities and LA unincorporated areas as shown here on the map. Most of the service area also overlaps with our service area, which is a great benefit. The board, as you know, is comprised of local elected officials from the cities that we represent. In addition to having a partnership with West Basin, they also have partnerships with the Water Replenishment District, the City of Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, the Sanitation Districts, LA County Metro, the Southern California Regional Energy Network, SoCalREN, and Southern California Gas Company. Slide, please. This partnership, they bring value to West Basin by promoting our programs, tabling events on our behalf, conducting outreach and other activities, which I'll provide more details in the slides. They use their current customer service staff and their communication channels to connect with the public, with our conservation and education programs. We also hold bi-weekly meetings with their staff to review the tasks and goals, budgets, and to provide direction to their staff. Our current agreement is set to expire with them on next month on June 30th. Next slide, please. Here is a list of their current tasks, which I'll go into a bit more detail in the next slide. They provide outreach support. They support us with our classes, our workshops, webinars. They promote our water bottle filling station program. They conduct numerous activities associated with our rain barrel program. They create various maps for us using GIS, and they promote our commercial programs through their Green Building Assist program. Next slide, please. So on these next two slides, we provide quite a bit of detail, as you can see here, on their goals and their accomplishments. Our staff establishes goals each year in coordination with their staff and our public information department. I don't think these all, but if you look at the first few, you can see that they do receive between 600 and 800 phone calls per year from the public that they refer to our programs. They also attend over 100 city outreach events where they promote West Basin and our programs. We get many requests throughout the year to attend city events. And as you know, our staff does a great job representing West Basin, but there are times when we get too many requests, sometimes several requests for the same day. And this is where the South Bay COG staff helps us to cover those additional events. So together, we're able to cover and attend more events throughout the year. Under the collateral in the community section there, they place our program flyers at 65 different public sites that include city halls, libraries, community centers, and other locations throughout the South Bay. We make sure that they keep the information current and they remove any outdated information. They are also very effective in promoting our classes, tours, and events by e-blasting to their distribution lists, using social media and their newsletters. They have met their goals. In some cases, they've exceeded their goals by quite a bit. Next slide, please. They promote our water bottle filling station program with the cities and school districts that they meet with, which has led to several installations. They also assist us with our Rain Barrel program. They take online registrations and manage the database. They provide staff at the events to assist with check-ins and provide refreshments to the volunteer groups that assist us. And they help obtain the required Rain Barrel installation photos from residents and then provide staff with the final database. I use all this information to invoice MWD for funding reimbursement. For this current fiscal year, they helped develop several GIS maps for our programs, which I'll show. They also have a program called the Green Building Assist Program, where they have enrolled over 400 businesses, and they promote West Basin's programs like our grass replacement rebates to these businesses. Next slide, please. So here's the maps that their staff developed for us. The first one here is for the water bottle filling station program. And we provided them with all the addresses and they plotted all of the installations. So you can see here on this map, over 115 stations have been installed throughout the South Bay. And they also assisted us with plotting the 33 stations in Division 4. They color-coded the dots in the legend, a little hard to see, but it identifies the different type of site where the water bottle filling station was installed. So these maps are actually very useful. As you can see here, we can tell visually areas where there's more activity or less activity. And this is actually going to help us with our marketing efforts to try to get more stations installed in those areas. Next slide, please. Here, the South Bay COG, they plotted all the rain barrels that have been distributed over the last 10 years. The darker colors represent areas where more than 2,000 to 3,000 rain barrels have been distributed, the darker colors there. They also plotted in Division 4. I mentioned Division 4 because their staff is only really allowed to attend events within their service area in the South Bay. But they can still assist us in Division 4 with databasing, providing refreshments, things like that. So they can still support, and they also cover the city of El Segundo, which of course is in Division 4. So they could still help us in that division. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, they have a partnership with the SoCal Regional Energy Network, or SoCal REN, which is a LA County program where they meet with businesses to provide information about energy and water efficiency programs. And in the legend, you can see the types of businesses that they have met with. For next fiscal year, we did ask their staff to increase participation in the city of Carson and Inglewood and other areas that show less activity. Next slide, please. In the next few slides, I'm going to show all the events they have promoted and supported us with, along with some photos. Here's a list of classes and tours that they have helped us. They have helped to promote from July through September of last year. So the first portion of the fiscal year using eBlast, social media, and tabling events. The eBlasts to the distribution list are very effective in generating RSVPs for our tours and classes. Next slide, please. Here's a list of the Rain Barrel events and classes from September through January. And there's a photo there of a fire escaping class that we held up in the Palos Verdes area where Director Houston came by to say hello. Next slide, please. Here's a list of tours and classes and Rain Barrel events from February through this month. And that's a photo of the garden design class that we held here in this room on May 6th. The South Bay COG staff, they assisted us with check-ins and refreshments. We also had a very successful fire speaking class at Topanga, where the South Bay COG ordered some refreshments and assisted us there as well. Next slide, please. I'm currently on page 28. Here's a nice photo of Director Gray with Caddy Segovia. She's a staff member from the South Bay COG. Caddy was tabling at the Black History Celebration event in the city of Inglewood back in February. So they do assist us out in the community with tabling events and promoting and providing our information, our program information to the public. You can see there they're providing actually a what space and bag to a resident. Next slide, please. And here are photos of a gardening workshop that we held at the El Segundo Library. They also assisted us there with sign-ins and refreshments. Next slide, please. And back in March, they represented us at the Rancho Days event in Rancho Dominguez. Next slide. As part of their agreement tasks, we added a training component. The South Bay COG has staff, but they also have around 15 to 20 volunteers. Their volunteers also attend events and help support their staff at the COG. So in order to be informed, we conduct training for their staff and their volunteers once or twice per year. So that way they can learn about West Basin and understand our program. So when they're out in the community, they can direct the public to our website and our programs. Next slide, please. I won't spend too much time here, but here's a list of our Rain Barrel programs. As mentioned, they handle all the registrations and assist at the events. Next slide. Here's their current budget. We provided the budget for each task, the amount spent, amount remaining, and percent expended. This budget is through April 30th, and they are on track to spend the total budget amount for all the work that they have completed. Next slide, please. I have a few slides left, so I'm going to briefly cover the tasks and budgets for this next fiscal year. So overall, the tasks will remain the same as you can see here. They'll continue to provide outreach, assist us with our classes, workshops, webinars, promote our water bottle filling station program, assist us with our Rain Barrel programs, provide GIS support, and promote our programs to businesses through the Green Business Assist program. Next slide, please. Here are just more detail of the task. So go ahead and skip over this one. Next slide, please. So this fiscal year's budget is $163,260, and staff is proposing a budget of $171,370. Staff currently has a placeholder in the in the next fiscal year's budget of $175,000 for the next South Bay contract if awarded. If awarded, staff will adjust the budget to reflect the actual agreement amount of $171,370. Staff provided a few highlights here for the budget. There's a slight 5% budget increase to provide additional classes and GIS support. And I think it's important to note that that their staff labor rates are going to remain the same as last year. Next slide, please. So in summary, as you can see, the South Bay COG, their staff and volunteers continue to provide great value to West Basin. They are comprised of our local cities, and their staff provides valuable programs to our residents, businesses, and the public at large. With their help, they continue to bring greater awareness and participation in West Basin's programs throughout the South Bay. Next slide, please. So at this time, I'd like to read the recommendation and then take any questions or comments you may have. So the recommendation is that the board authorize the general manager to enter into a conservation partnership agreement with the South Bay City Council of Governments to promote and support West Basin's programs under the direction of staff from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. An amount not to exceed $171,370. And that's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Gus. Do we have to make a motion on this? Or
No motion is needed. All we need is the direction of the two committee members in order to either move it or hold it in committee. Obviously, the full board can provide input.
can I get a motion on the days moving it
We don't need
forward?
to make a motion, but I have some questions.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Does-
Okay, so, the budget or the contract amount is gonna increase 5% from the current years. And you've got a couple of highlights for what that includes. Two questions, since it doesn't include any cost of living increases for their staff. What specifically are we doing when we say additional classes? Are we talking, and maybe you can come back later on this, or at the board meeting. Are we talking about 2 more classes? Are we talking about 100 more classes?
3 more classes. We're going to go from 6 to 9
So-
classes. Yes.
3 more classes, and in addition to that, what else are they doing?
They're going to continue to assist us with GIS support. They'll be creating maps for our programs. We like that. It also helps us with our marketing efforts. And so we like to see more of that. So we increased the GIS budget by a little bit there to do more of the GIS map.
So just my comment, I don't think we're getting $8,000 more work from them. It would be better if they if there was a cost of living increase for their staff. But there's not. I don't see $8,000 worth of value in 3 additional classes. And everything else seems like pretty much what they do already. Second comment or question is, you mentioned that they don't help us outside of their region, which is the South Bay, but we do serve Malibu and Marina Del Rey and West Hollywood, etc. So when we have events there, we cannot count on their support.
Only in the city of El Segundo.
But that's South Bay. They're
In a sport, they do provide refreshments, ordering, if we need food, they can help us with that. They help us with databasing, which is a big part. Say we do a rain barrel event in Malibu, they take all the RSVPs and they database.
They do everything here. They don't, they can't assign staff to go.
That is correct, Director.
So my question is, I can understand that as a cog for their own activities, but we're actually contracting with them. So if we're contracting with them, why can't we contract that they would provide that support in Malibu and West Hollywood or wherever we have events?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you look at everything they do for us. And this partnership has really, I think it started in 2007, because I think I went to the
Been around
original
for a
press
while.
conference. Yeah. This is, the work that we get from them is economies to scale. They have multiple different partners. West Basin is one. So when they go out, some of the events that you just saw in there, when they go out there and they're promoting West Basin, they have a table that has all of their partners, and so they're carrying that on. So in order for them to send somebody outside of our service area, it's very difficult. However, I would note too that they have volunteers and amazing staff. I have been outside of our service area and I have seen them out there volunteering outside of the South Bay Cog area. And then real quick, I did want to touch on the $8,000. Again, I would look at the total scope and the significant amount of work that they do on our behalf. And I think that one thing that gets lost is that when we prepare the scope and we're preparing all the different events and the workload, I think throughout the year, their approach and our approach has always been, hey, can we get some help? Yes, we'll help you. And it kind of carries on through the year. And so when we asked to add some events and some GIS work and some stuff here, like they're calculating and recalculating their workload and the hours. They're paying people hourly, managing all the volunteers. So I would look at that 5% increase and really say it's probably more in line with the work that they did this year as well. It's just that we're including that in the scope of work. This agreement and the support of Jackie Backrack and the entire South Bay City Council of Governments and South Bay Environmental Services Center has truly been a lifesaver for West Basin. And if you look at the history of it, every single year, we're growing our reach. And for that price annually, when you look at the staffing needs that we would have to have in-house, is just, it's amazing. So.
And I would agree with all of that, but I would also say that this agreement is also a lifesaver for them, for the South Bay Cog.
It's a mutually beneficial.
They're looking for funding sources, and this is a funding source, as their other partners are. I would be more comfortable recognizing that their staff also is going to incur cost of living. We're going to, and that we would encourage them. And I personally think that they should do that. Encourage the cost of living. They don't have to give 5%, but maybe 3% would be something that might be worthwhile. And I would still pursue that. Maybe we talk to them a little bit more about, because from time to time, and I don't know, I don't want to attend the events in Malibu and West Hollywood, etc. But it would seem to me, as we do down here, that we may need assistant manning booths and tables. So,
Yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. I would just say to the people that you see in front of you,
we're do a great job.
Yeah, we're the team. And so when there are events in West Hollywood and Culver City and Malibu, and there are others downstairs as well, but we do an amazing job of getting out there because we know that the South Bay Cog reach is not there. I have met with South Bay Cog staff and management over the years. I do know that we actually have at least one previous staff member from the South Bay Cog. And so, I mean, they are well paid. I would never want to interfere with what their management does there. But I do know that the staffing costs and stuff like that have been discussed in several of our past agreements. I don't know exactly where they're at this year or how this impacts that. But again, I would just say that this agreement was, and the proposed scope of work that you see here was not just put forth by West Basin, but was negotiated with the South Bay Cog, really to meet our needs. And again, Gus Mays has been kind of leading that effort for years. And so I would hope that this agreement helps them meet kind of that high or increased cost of living and paying their staff a decent and fair wage.
Well, this agreement helps them a lot. If we weren't giving them this agreement, that it would be a shock to their budget. I get that. I just think they ought to share a little bit more.
I don't know what they're.
Yeah, I think one thing we have to think about too, Desi, is that, you know, their labor rates is not changing, right? The labor rates are staying the same. The only thing that we're seeing is the budget increase in other support items and back office items and stuff like that, that can help their staff, you know, kind of take care of a lot of their items during the year, right? So I think this is, this is, I think is transparent on moving forward with this item when it comes to this contract. Do we have any other comments, Director Deere?
No, no, thank you.
Director Gray, do we have any comments on the contract budget?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I can remember, I can't remember how long that we've had the agreement or partnership with South Bay Cog, but I can remember the fact that they have been very active in our, not just, well, in our service area, and I can certainly speak to my service area, and I've seen them at events where staff has not been able to attend. We have a block club structure here in the city of Inglewood, and they've been at block club meetings and different events, and I don't think there's any disagreement that they're effective in terms of the outreach. In terms of the contract, I think it's a reasonable increase. I do support it. I think they do good work. Perhaps we can look at whether they can do something outside of their service area. I'm not quite sure if that's possible, but I think we've had a very good relationship. I think it's been of value to the district, and I think that is reasonable what's being proposed today. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Gray. So I'd like to move this forward, make a motion that we move it forward to the main board. Can I get a second on this? Moving forward?
Keep it moving, Mayor.
I think it can go forward. We don't need a motion to do so.
Is that correct, General Manager?
That is correct. There's no motion needed. However, I just want to, are you recommending a support, or would you want us to put that on, so it wouldn't be on consent if we didn't have the support of the committee?
You can leave it in consent. I'll probably pull it nonetheless and just talk to the issue of that maybe they should pass on a cost of living increase for their staff.
What I'll go ahead and do as well, I'll reach out to Jackie, because I also want to know that the numbers that you see when they say that the rates aren't changing, I just want to make sure it's clear that that's the rate that's attributed to each task and that the work that they're doing on our behalf. That does not necessarily correlate to the salary of their staff members. So additional work could actually increase their salary, but I don't.
Well,
I
increase
don't know.
their salary because they had charged more hours to it. It doesn't increase their rate. I mean, you reported at the beginning of the
No,
presentation.
that's the rate that they're charging us.
Right.
But again, so every partner pays a certain amount. They take that in totality, and that's how they pay. But I will reach out and get some answers for you, and then that way, hopefully, before the board meeting, I can.
The comment at the beginning, when the discussion came up, that they're not giving a cost of living increase. That was the
Yeah,
comment.
one of the reasons is because of all their partnerships they have, like you mentioned, EJ. They're able to leverage, all the partner
Right.
funding in order to keep their rates where they're at, which benefits.
But they're
them.
raising an additional 5%. So that theoretically, one of the things that we have to raise rates because we do give a cost of living increase, et cetera. And that's just part of life. I guess I'm sensitive to that and recognizing that for their staff.
I'll get to the bottom of this before the board meeting.
Thank you guys for the presentation. Okay, our next item is their information calendar, starting off with A.
Right. So Item 6A is our monthly communications update. This begins on packet page 40. And for this presentation, we do have Jen Jensen, our public information specialist.
Jay, good afternoon. Directors, begin our communications update with our press releases from the month of April on packet page 42. Yes. This past month, we published 3 press releases, and later on in the presentation, we will share the resulting media coverage from those releases and our media efforts in the upcoming media coverage slides. But for now, I'll give you an overview of those 3 press releases that we published. The first was for the 2025 Student Art Contest winners announcement. The next release was about the district's 30 years of recycled water production milestone. And the final 3rd release was the Legislator of the Year Awards. On the next slide, please, page 43. This past reporting month, we published quite a multitude of web stories to promote our programs and also district accomplishments as well, including a recap of West Basin's extensive efforts for Earth Day community involvement and events. We also published a story about the rescheduling of the Malibu Rain Barrel giveaway event and also our WRD collaboration class for garden design, and a story about firescaping registration opening, a story about increased rebate for the grass replacement program, and also the art contest winners announcement, and of course, a district news story about the 30-year anniversary of our recycled water production. And moving on to our earned media coverage on the next slide, 44, please. The Smart Water magazine published our press release about the contract award to Jacobs to operate the district's recycled water facilities. West Basin and our general manager was quoted in a digital publication through KTLA regarding the Bologna Wetlands Land Trust and other critics challenging a decision by the Santa Monica Bay Restoration Commission to remove terms like climate change and environmental justice from its work plan. And that was in an effort to preserve federal funding under the current federal administration. This was more of an indirect mention of a quote from our GM, rather than a West Basin mention. And then also Patch published our story about the student art contest winners, and Loyola Marymount University News page published a story mentioning West Basin's immersive learning experiences for our students to see our recycled water production in action at our facilities, which was a really nice mention on our end. Slide 45, please. In the paid news coverage section, we placed several paid ads in local service area publications to promote the Topanga Firescaping Workshop, including Topanga New Times, Patch, and Eventbrite. And we will share the fantastic results of those marketing efforts reflected in the attendance at that event coming up later in the program section of this presentation. But for now, moving on to the other news coverage for the month of April on slide 46, please. The SBESC sent out several e-blasts and newsletters. I won't go through every single one of them. You can see them on the screen, but those were to promote our programs for grass replacement, Earth Day events, our grass removal, and garden design classes as well. And then Aqua shared member news about our 30-year recycled water celebration. And as always, media clips from all of these will be, or those articles will be an attachment B on page 61 of this report. And for our social media report on the next slide, page 47, in this reporting period, our social media team posted a total of 59 times across all platforms, including 24 times on Instagram, 23 on Facebook, and 12 on LinkedIn. And from that, our total engagements were nearly 7,000, shown on the graph here on the screen, which represents the volume of engagements, or meaning how many people are engaging with West Basin's post on each platform through clicking on links, commenting, liking, saving, and sharing our posts. And then you'll notice on that graph on the screen that there's a spike in engagement around April 5th, and this was a result of a few ads that were placed on that day. The ads really have a positive impact on our engagement, as we've seen multiple times in the past, and that allows us to reach more people and spread the word about our initiatives. There is another spike in engagement on the 11th that we had in the past month, and that was from a post from the Office of California State Senator Ben Allen and the post about the NWD inspection trip that really gained some significant visibility And that really just showcases how active and involved we are in the community and with our partners to our audience on social media. So it's a nice representation. The total impressions or number of times our content was displayed to users on all platforms in the past reporting month reached nearly 180,000. And this stat really provides great perspective on the exposure of our content that it's receiving, which in turn can lead to increased visibility of all of our programs and overall mission. Next slide, please. All right, on this slide, we will share the top performing social media posts on each of our 3 platforms from the past reporting month. And below the image of the post, we'll share why it was a top performer. So starting on the left of the slide for Instagram, the California Native Plant Week post reached 563 accounts. On Facebook, our top post was the Being Waterwise is Student Art Contest voting, which received 1,707 engagements. And on LinkedIn, we received 8,879 impressions for sharing the O&M contract award to Jacobs Project Management Company. Next slide, 49, please. Okay, so for this portion of the report, I'd like to share the floor with our intern, Heidi, to my right here. And she'll give us an overview of one of our most recent marketing campaigns that she helped to lead, and we'll share the details and the successes of those efforts. Take it away.
Good afternoon, Board of Directors. I'm excited to share the success of one of our most recent marketing campaigns in support of West Basin's community conservation efforts. On March 5th, 2025, West Basin launched a 2-week rain barrel giveaway marketing campaign on Instagram in an effort to increase brand visibility and to show appreciation to the communities we serve by giving them a chance to win rain barrels through interacting with our social media posts. One lucky winner chosen at random received 2 free rain barrels. This was in partnership with our vendor, Rain Barrels International, one of the leading providers of rain barrels in the U.S. To participate, users were asked to both follow West Basin and Rain Barrels International and either tag or comment a friend, actions designed to boost engagement and organic reach on our social platform. On the left side of the slide, you'll see the graphic for the giveaway post. We received a total of 670 engagements, which includes likes, comments, shares, and saves. Engagement is a strong indicator of how actively users interact with our content. The post generated 647 impressions, which is the number of times the content appeared on user screens. This helps us understand our content's exposure and who it reached. A big win for the campaign, we received 356 comments, each one serving as an official entry to the giveaway. This level of interaction demonstrates widespread community interest and enthusiasm. One comment stood out among the rest where a participant shared, "I've been putting bowls and MPT pitchers to collect rain when it comes. LOL, this would be great." This participant had the opportunity to win a real practical device instead of using several unpractical kitchen devices. This comment just shows how people really care about conservation and how the resources West Basin provides can impact people's daily lives and conservation efforts. By the conclusion of the campaign on March 19, our Instagram follower count increased by 198 new followers, which is an increase of about 10%, enhancing our long-term visibility and community engagement. On the next slide, please. So campaign impact and funding. Looking at the right side of the slide, you'll see a breakdown of the campaign's budget and reach. We spent $113 on targeted digital advertising over the 2-week period, averaging about $8 per day. The ad was strategically boosted to reach users within our service area. The giveaway post was viewed a total of 11,846 times, including repeated views by the same user, which tells us how frequently the ad was revisited. The reach or the number of unique users who saw the ad was 8,824. Most notably, we received 410 leaflets directing users to West Basin's Instagram page. This demonstrates meaningful follow-through and interest in our audience. Overall, this campaign reflected the dedication and creativity of the team, showing how a simple idea can grow into a meaningful, community-centered effort with lasting conservation impact. Through thoughtful planning and teamwork, the team increased brand visibility in a cost-effective way while building stronger connections with the public. It was a valuable reminder of the power of digital outreach, not just to raise awareness, but to inspire long-term change. We're proud of what we accomplished together and of the strong foundation this campaign has laid for all future engagement and environmental impact. Thank you.
All right, moving on to the next section of the report, the program section on slide 52, please. We'll give you a recap of the district's expansive community involvement efforts for Earth Month. Staff attended 21 total events during the month of April, and we tracked nearly 1,000 engagements with community members and conversations had with people at booths, job fairs, and also classes. So I want to give a big thanks to all of the West Basin employees who generously shared their time and efforts to volunteer weekend events and also engage with people to really teach them about West Basin and also the importance of water conservation efforts within our communities. On the next slide, 53, please. We published the spring edition of the district's Water News newsletter. This edition's stories focused on our 30 years of recycled water celebration and production anniversary and told the history of the district leading up to this milestone achievement. And also we shared a story about our student art contest winners celebrating their achievements as well and West Basin's efforts to uplift arts combined with conservation within our communities. And as usual, the newsletter promoted our community events as well on the second page and also provided helpful water saving tips to people timely to the season that we're in. Water News was deployed on April 30th, nearly 4,000 subscribers. Our open rate and click rate is on the screen, and that remains on par with our past recent newsletters and also on par with other similar industry newsletter engagement rates as well. And we look forward to continuing to actively promote this newsletter to increase those interactions and subscribers over time with the summer publication scheduled at the end of July this year. Next slide, page 54, please. We're happy to share the results of the final garden design class in partnership with WRD. Since November of last year, we've hosted 4 total garden design classes. On the April 18th class in El Segundo, we had 29 attendees. And at the final event on May 6th, we had 38 attendees to close out this collaboration effort. And through the duration of this class series, people who attended reported to us that they were very appreciative of the opportunities to interact with our staff and also learn from experts. And they also enjoyed the giveaways and really participated in a very productive Q&A session at each one of those events. So this summer, we'll start to plan ahead for our next WRD collaboration following this for the upcoming fiscal year, and we'll share more details of those plans when they come to life. On slide 55, please. We completed the 5th and final rain barrel distribution event for this year in Malibu. And on Saturday, April 6th, we gave away 50 rain barrels. I will say it was a very gloomy and rainy day at that event. Gus can attest to that. But although it was an appropriate justification for rain barrels, it really did kind of put a damper on our staff and the public attendance. But despite that, that did not stop us from doing what we do best, and that is helping people by giving them resources to conserve water. So our plan as of right now is to take those remaining 50 rain barrels and reallocate them for next year's rain barrel giveaway. And our team, along with the policy team, is looking forward to planning next year's events and continuing this tradition. On slide 56, please. We are very pleased to share the success of the latest firescaping workshop. We previously shared our comprehensive promotional marketing tactics to support this firescaping workshop in Topanga, and we're happy to announce that we received a very high attendance rate of 46 people at the last event on May 8th. This is really a testament to the efforts put forth by the policy team to plan and implement such an impactful and resource-rich community event, and also the PIE team as well for putting together a successful marketing plan that really culminated in this, I believe, record-breaking attendance rate. Is that correct, Gus? Yeah, so really excited to announce that. And we're very grateful that so many community members showed interest to attend to get these resources and become educated on how to protect their homes from wildfires. Moving on to slide 57, please. We do want to keep the committee apprised of the ongoing efforts to promote the additional DAC the residential grass replacement rebate funds, as we've reported in past committees. As we shared in the last committee, we have the marketing materials and tactics listed here. So I won't go through all of them because we've been through it before, but did want to provide a reminder on the efforts for that. And since submitting this committee report about a week and a half ago, we have received actually an increase in overall signups. We're happy to report that we are now at 100 registrants and are currently processing those applicants for eligibility. So our initial goal for signups was about 40 people. So we've exceeded that by more than 100%. So very, very pleased to report that. And we do have available funds for this initiative. So we're still actively promoting the program to this day and beyond through paid advertisements through the LA Times, SoCal News Group, and the upcoming Sunset Magazine advertorial, as well as the upcoming grass replacement video series that we are currently working on. Next slide, please. So at each committee meeting, we've been keeping you updated on the progress and success of this year's Water Lab program. So a really quick recap for everyone here at the March 26th Know Your H2O class. We had 32 attendees, and then we had 25 attendees at the April 5th public tour, 33 attendees at the public tour this past Saturday. And at the grass replacement chat last night, we had 32 attendees. And that marks, I also believe, Gus, can you confirm this, an all-time high attendance rate for the district's hosted chat. So we're meeting and exceeding goals here, which is really wonderful to see. And that really is a reflection of Mel's marketing and outreach efforts, and of course, the valuable information provided by Gus and the policy team for our service area residents. And moving on to our final upcoming section of this committee report and the concluding slide on page 60, thank you. We have some exciting things in the works that I'm happy to share with the committee to promote the district and also our programs, including the, like I mentioned before, the Sunset Magazine advertorial campaign that will go live towards the end of this month. And as a reminder of that, we told this committee earlier in the year that we were utilizing part of our advertising budget to work with Sunset Magazine on a campaign to promote our residential grass replacement rebate program to their readership, geo-targeted in our service area, of course. We worked together to create a beautifully crafted article that really showcases very vibrant storytelling about our district and our programs, as well as the benefits to residents, as well to spread the word about the rebate resource with their audience. And we are so pleased with how the campaign has really come to life, and it will be published on their digital online website and on their social media towards the end of May. And we will share the article and social media link with the board when it's published to report the results of that campaign rollout and also the success metrics that come from it in upcoming committee reports. And then also another exciting project that we want to look forward to in the near future, the last part of this slide, is the completion of the video shoot for the garden landscape maintenance guide and also grass replacement promotional videos that will be completed at the end of the month. And this video series, to provide an update, I know that we shared a pitch slide with about the information on this earlier in the year with this committee, but to provide a refreshing reminder, this video series is a storytelling opportunity for the district. Unlike most things that we've done before in the past, it's an opportunity to utilize the powerful storytelling capabilities of video and also interviews with our participants from both the Parkway program that we launched this year and also from the grass replacement participants as well. So we did interviews with them. They provided beautiful testimonials that supported West Basin. We're grateful to West Basin and also supported the grass replacement program. So that these videos will share the impact of our conservation programs and encourage people to participate in the programs and also in this really environmentally enriching rebate program as well. So the production company is currently editing the footage that will be finalized at the end of June and ready for us to share with the public on our website and social media platforms. And we can't wait for you all to see the final product and the results and look forward to sharing that with you when they are complete. So that concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Jen, for the great presentation. Wanted to bring behind the dais and see if we have any of our directors want to comment or questions on Jen's presentation. Great, thank you. Thank you. I think I thought that was great on giving the background on us meeting and exceeding those numbers when you mentioned that. So I think that's great. Moving on to the next, so B, EJ.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, item 6D is our monthly conservation programs update. For this presentation, we have Gus Mesa, our Senior Water Policy and Resources Analyst.
Good afternoon again, directors. This is our monthly conservation programs update. And I'll be using the slides, the PowerPoint slides that are located on page 83. Next slide, please. So as Jim mentioned, our local landscape designer is currently providing residents within our service area with 3 landscape designs. And as you can see here, we're showing a number of 80, but it's more closer to 100. So the program is going great. And our goal is to provide 40 to 50 designs. So we're going to go ahead and work through that list of 100 applicants to reach our goal to provide those landscape designs. Landscape design tends to be an obstacle for residents when they're trying to apply for their grass replacement rebate program, because it requires a landscape design. And a lot of residents are not sure what to do out there. And so we're able to help them by providing this landscape design that they can upload with their photos and their water bill, and they can get started with their projects. So we're providing a great service with these landscape designs. Next slide, please. At prior committee meetings, the directors wanted to see a table of the rebates, rebate amounts that are being offered. It can be a little confusing, so I'm going to show a couple of slides. This first slide shows the rebates that MWD provides. As you can see here, they have a base rate, and then they also apply for grants. They've been successful as well in getting federal grants, DWR, state grants, which you can see here that they add that funding to the base rate. And the last column there is the total rebate amount they provide. Next slide, please. This is where it gets a little tricky. The green area is still the MWD rebates that they provide. And so the orange area is West Basin's grant funds. We have also been successful in obtaining grants from DWR and USBR. And as you can see here, we request MWD to provide our grant funds to our residents. And in the blue final column there, you can see the total amount of rebate that is provided, which with our grants, it really increases the level of rebates to our residents, our businesses, our cities. And so we wanted to show these tables to see an understanding of how the rebates, work. Next slide, please.
Gus, could I
Yes,
add something real quick?
yes.
Just, we had a good conversation with Metropolitan staff last week, just about their turf removal program. And we did hear that they are going to be having some funding coming. I think it's through the system conservation, the Colorado River. I could be off on that. But they have some long-term funding that's going to be coming in that's going to last through 2031. And so whereas now they kind of provide $2 per square foot on a lot of their different accounts, we could see that go up to $4, $5, even $6 per square foot, depending on if it's residential or CII. So we're really going to see an increase in the rebate amounts that Metropolitan offers. And so we're really hoping to kind of spark some additional activity and interest in that program in the coming 5 to 6 years, which is great. So I did want to mention that. We'll bring back more specific details when we have them from Metropolitan.
Next slide, please. We continue to provide our additional $1 per square foot rebate from our USDR grant to residents in our service area. We are about halfway in reaching our goal, having 100,000 square feet of grass removed. And so we continue promoting this rebate. Next slide, please. For the underserved disadvantaged community areas, we continue providing our additional $3 per square foot rebate from our DWR grant. So we continue promoting this. We did see 9 residents from these communities participate and transform their landscapes. So we continue promoting this program as well. Next slide. Between our funding and MWD's funding, commercial properties and public agencies are currently receiving $4 per square foot. There are 4 applications in the system that are close to completion for a total of 32,460 square feet. Met staff has also identified a couple more businesses within our service area, a couple more applications that they're going to apply the remaining funding to those so we can reach our goal of 50,000 square feet. So that should happen soon. Next slide, please. Just have a couple more slides here. We talked about the rain barrel events already. We're scheduling the last check presentations to those groups that assisted us in Malibu. Next slide, please. And this is the new program that we're developing with our partners, West Virginia's Municipal Water District and LA County Waterworks District up in the Malibu Topanga area. And we're working, putting this 3-way MOU in place, developing a program name. And we'll be working with tree people as well. Residents will be able to order plants, native plant kits, and we'll be using some of the grant funding we're receiving to assist residents to lower the price of those plant kits. And those distributions will happen in November. And we continue meeting bi-weekly with our partners as we develop this program up in the Malibu Topanga area. Next slide, please. So Jen talked about the fire escaping class in Topanga already, but I did want to kind of point out the partners here. We don't get to see this very often up in the Topanga area, but they're very well connected. They have a Topanga Town Council. They work with a couple other groups there, the North Topanga Canyon Fire Safety Council. And so they were there at this class as well, and they helped us promote the class in that area. We had a great turnout with partnering with these other agencies here. Next slide, please. And we talked about these classes already. We had a great West Basin chat last night. The chat is a 20-minute, 30-minute webinar that staff puts on to help residents understand the steps to apply for a grass replacement rebate. There's like a few steps. Sometimes they're confused. They're not sure how to get the rebate. So I kind of walk them through the different steps and answer their questions. And we had a great turnout. Over 30 people attended last night. So we do these every quarter, and we're going to continue doing these chats. I think that they help our residents. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gus. Okay, moving on to item C. EJ.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, item C is our monthly water bottle filling station program update. This begins on packet page 95. And for the presentation, we have Tammy Hurley-High, our Senior Water Policy and Resources Analyst.
Thank you, EJ. Good afternoon, Chair 5A and member Chris. Happy to provide a status update for you today on this program. As you know, this program provides community members with access to safe, clean, and reliable tap water and engage the use of refillable, reusable bottles in an effort to reduce plastic waste. And with this report, we do have a few PowerPoint slides to accompany the summary. And those slides begin on the thank you. So on this first slide, it shows the applications that were received for the last fiscal year. This included a total of 20 applicants. And most recently, we have been notified that the Whiteburn Unified School District has completed installation of their new stations. So today, there have been 18 stations have already been installed. If we can go to the next slide, please. So here's a list of applications we received during the current fiscal year. And recently, we received 3 new applications from the city of Lawndale. And last month, your board approved waiving conditions of this program so that we may be able to receive more than 2 applications from an entity within the same fiscal year. So thank you very much for that. We also have received another application from the El Segundo Unified School District for a location at their high school. This application is currently pending review and approval. If we can go to the next slide, please. So here's a map showing it again. We saw it a little bit earlier. So during the committee meeting last month, we mentioned that we would share a copy of the map where the water bottle filling stations are located, and which Gus had already mentioned earlier. This map was created by the South Bay Cities Council of Governments, which was presented as a poster at their recent General Assembly event. In addition to this report is a listing of all of the installation for water bottle filling stations since 2017. And this was requested during last month's committee meeting as well. This list is separated out by each district director division. So for your information, that information is there as well. It's included in the report under attachment A. If we can go to the next slide, please. So last month, we were able to complete a photo opportunity at Woodcrest Elementary School. This school has recently installed the station. It's located on the playground next to their cafeteria. The photo on the left is with the school principal and students who love using this water bottle filling station. They're very excited and pleased to share us their excitement. The photo on the right is with President Gray and the principal, Miss Jamila Gaston. And the enrollment at this school is over 600 students. We can go to the next slide, please. So here are a few entities we have received inquiries from. For Division 1, representatives from the Palos Verdes Library District attended the South Bay COGS General Assembly, where there was a map that was prominently displayed at their table. And so there was interest there from the Palos Verdes Library District. We had our staff member there that talked about it, and they were very interested. So we have reached out to follow up with them. So we're just trying to keep that connection going to get back and, help them fill out the application so that they can submit it. Keep you updated on that. For Division 2, the Inglewood Unified School District, there are several long-term reconstruction projects that they're planning with their construction management team. At this time, we don't anticipate receiving applications during this current fiscal year, but perhaps we may be receiving some in the future for the fall timeframe. And I do have a meeting scheduled to talk more with their team about that next week. So I'll keep you updated on that as well. And then for Division 3, the city of Redondo Beach has expressed interest to install another station. That other station would be at the Harbor Pier area. We anticipate the application to be submitted within the coming week. So yeah, just waiting to receive that. And also not listed here on the slide, but last week I was contacted by the city of Malibu in Division 4. They are looking to replace an old station at one of their park locations. We anticipate receiving an application from them soon on that.
And then can I add something real quick,
Yes,
Tammy? Another area or opportunity that we have over the next few years is we have some big events coming up in our service area, both World Cup next year and then the Olympics, obviously in 2028. And so one thing that staff is going to do, I know that the general manager talked with some folks last week about what's coming up and some of the planning. But what we're going to do is identify all the venues where there's going to be events happening within the service area. Carson and Inglewood are two of the bigger ones. I can't remember if there's any other of our cities that might have some events, but we're going to look and see if there's opportunities, reach out to those cities and other partners to see if we can get some additional water bottle filling stations in some of those locations that will be frequented by the public at that time. So something we'll be looking into.
I'm glad we're being proactive on that. Comes to those big items.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. And then in addition to these, and what Matt had mentioned, we have reached out to school district promoting and informing them of this program. We're trying to, push it as we get toward the end of the fiscal year. The Culver City Unified School District, their maintenance and operations director is reviewing out this option for consideration. So we should be receiving something from them soon. We have reached out to the Malibu Unified School District, not really getting any response there, but we'll continue to reach out to them. And we have been in contact with the LA Unified School District. They're not able to submit any more applications this fiscal year, but they said that they would be able to later on next fiscal year. So trying to keep this moving. Next slide, please. Thank you. So here is the budget status for this fiscal year for each director division. To date, there is a total of $20,000 committed for funding, with a total available amount of $35,000 included in this year's budget. So that wraps up the summary for this program. And thank you again. I'm happy to answer any other questions that you may have.
Thank you, Tammy, for the presentation. Any questions behind the dais? Any of the directors? Gloria Gray, do you have any questions or comments?
I do. On page 84. So this is on the landscape design assistance. And it says we received 80 applications. I very much appreciate for the average person that this would be really critical help. Are we able to provide assistance to all 80 applicants? Or are we limited in some ways?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, thank you, Tim. Yes, Director Hill. We've been, our landscape designer, Swayzer, has been reaching out, contacting, trying to contact those residents. Sometimes the information goes to spam, so they have to contact them. Sometimes they drop out, they're not interested. Sometimes they don't have grass, and they have to let them know that we're after saving, removing grass. So not all of those are going to qualify. And so that's why out of that 100, I think we can get 40 to 50 people that would qualify.
Right, so everyone that qualifies and that requests help will get help. We don't deny anyone that's qualified help because we're limited budget-wise or for other reasons that limits us in who we can provide help to.
So, Director, we have about $60,000 available to us for this program. Half of that is paid through a grant through USBR, and the other half comes from our own budget. It kind of depends on how much the average design costs. So we're thinking it's somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500. That's why Gus kind of mentioned the 40 to 50. We are predicting that there is some sort of opt-out rate, which is why we're kind of oversubscribing a little bit. But at the same time, we're going to put all of those people that might not qualify this round into next year, because we did request a budget for next year. So that's kind of our plan with this first tranche.
So maybe you guys can come back and with a little bit more analysis and say, I understand that some people are going to apply and then change their minds or not qualified and they don't have turf. and they didn't understand it. It is for turf removal that the design is, assistance, is tied to. But what I'd like to see us do is have it fully funded so no one is denied design assistance and therefore goes not replacing their turf. What would that take? Maybe you can come back next month with that analysis.
Okay.
So then if we can go to page 86. All right, so this is the incentives that we provide for turf replacement. And under the MWD grant incentive column, several of those incentives for residential and the residential disadvantaged communities and commercial disadvantaged communities. Well, residential both cases come from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. Are we at risk of losing any of that funding?
Not at this time. There were discussions earlier in the year where Met did put a pause on all their USBR grants because of the back and forth with the administration. But about maybe 2 months ago, they kind of reversed course and said, we've heard feedback from USBR staff that those grants are good to go now. That's not to say that something couldn't change again in the future, but as of right now, we've been given the go ahead to.
And Director Alvarez, the DAC funding comes from a BWR state grant, additional $3 per square foot, so it's not federal grants.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the USBR. That's because that's the one that's potentially at risk. And then my other question is, the DWR one, column for rows 2 and 3, it's an additional $1. What is the amount for those USBR and actually at the end in that commercial disadvantaged community? There's no dollar amount shown there. Is the incentive, is that an additional $1, additional $2? Do we know? But basically, rows 1, 4, and 5 are, 4 and 5, where it says it doesn't have a dollar amount. On column 3, MWD incentive.
Yeah, we're providing $1 on row 1, row 3 public agency. That's all MWD funding, the $4 per square foot for public agency. So our grants are going to the residential, commercial, our extra $1 from the USBR grant. And then our BWR is going to the DAC, residential, commercial.
Okay, but in the first table, not the second table, in that column 3, there are 4 or 3 rows that don't have a dollar amount. Is there a dollar amount associated with that?
Oh, I see. Where it says provided by West Basin User Grant?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Director. So we want MWD to spend our money because they also have USBR money and they can't double dip and do both. So we told them spend our money first because we want to spend our grants. And that's why we put those notes there.
Okay, maybe you can come back next time and expand what that is, because right now there's no dollar there, which direction it flows. I don't quite understand it.
So where it says MWD in the green table, MWD grant incentive,
Right,
right, where it says provide West Basin. If you look at the orange red box, you'll see the dollar from our grant, USBR. So we're referring to the next table.
So-
We have that note there.
so the way that works is we provide an additional $1, so where it says provide West Basin USBR grant, we provide the $1, and there's nothing there that comes from the USBR. And the immediate line below that, you have $1, and then we provide $1.
Yeah, and it's important to note, and correct me if I'm wrong, Metropolitan Water District, per that act, does not allow them to dedicate money only to specific disadvantaged communities. So I could be wrong there, but our grant is dedicated to disadvantaged communities.
So let's just go to the first row, residential, okay? The residential. MWD customer base is $2. MWD grant incentive, provide West Basin USBR grant.
So
And then it says total is $2.
from that,
What we provide is $1, and that $1 really is in that third column where it says provide West Basin USBR grant. Is that how that works?
so the 2 plus the 1 equal on the far right are the totals. So that's $3.
So on the second row, commercial, again, not disadvantaged. It says MWD grant incentive is $1 and then DWR. And then we provide an additional $1.
No, it says
Okay.
MWD grant base is $2 plus the $1 MWD grant incentive, which is in the second column. That's a total of $3.
Right.
Then you move to the right and it's plus $1 from West Basin, so that you'd get a total of $4. This
So-
is very confusing,
It
but
is,
yes,
So
because
we're
it really
back to
depends
the-
on the sector and the,
so then if I get that, then I go, well, is there any money at all being provided, going back to the previous line, which it says provide West Basin, so.
Yeah.
There is no MWD grant incentive for residential, only for commercial and public agencies at this time.
Correct. That's correct. We can clean it. We can provide a cleaned up version of this, but you're right. We should not have had any text in those boxes to some of the confusion there, but you're correct, Director.
I think what I was trying to explain to, Director, is that, you can't build the MWD has grants, DWR and USBR grants. We have DWR, USBR grants as well. So we want them to use our funding wherever possible and not theirs.
I just wanted to get as much turf removal done as possible.
Yeah, I do too.
And the more incentivizing you can provide, the
Yes.
more you're gonna get done. So I just wanted to really understand how that money is. And then last, if we go to page 106, which is the water filling station. Which is one of my favorite programs, next, right after turf replacement. City of Redondo Beach, we just did one. Are they doing some additional ones?
We did one in Redondo Beach, it was a couple of years back. So we had it in the park.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So which is this one?
They want to do one at the pier, at the harbor pier.
Oh, okay.
it's important to note, we did one at the pier, but there's been some community discussion about moving it or removing. So the one that we additionally did, or the initially did was, it's on a bike path, but it's within the parking structure. And it kind of creates,
So are they talking about removing it or are we gonna put a net?
Yeah. they would not be able to remove it and use it. So I've been told that, because the question was, if you're gonna put one in the harbor, there's already one in the harbor. So, and they said, yeah, this is completely separate from the side.
We can put two in the harbor. I mean, we put two in.
Yeah, you can put them anywhere, and there's many points of entrance, but I received a phone call about it, and they said that they're looking at
So they're looking to remove the one in the harbor
Possibly.
parking structure
possibly remove that.
on the new one. It would be nice if they, I don't know why they'd have to remove the one in the harbor parking structure.
I can explain it maybe offline. There are some
Yeah,
questions about it.
there's, okay, you might explain that to me.
All the construction?
No, it's within a concrete structure.
Yeah.
So it took them a long time to actually plumb it in. And then once they had it there, it creates some traffic. And there's a bike path there. And so when you have people stopping along a bike path, and there's just some concerns about it.
If it's the one, if it's what I'm thinking of, I don't see that big of a conflict. So
I don't,
I would prefer not to have it replaced. I'd like to see one added. There's a more water filling stations that are out there the less plastic bottles that people are gonna use. But the removal of that one doesn't make sense. And yeah, I would say, yeah, we'll help finance installation of another, but we don't appreciate you removing the ones we've already funded.
Correct.
Those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Desi. Our next item, do we have anything in closed session?
There are no closed session items for today.
Right, back to the directors. Any comments from our directors? Director Gray, do you have any comments? And then future agenda items? I think Director Gray has left.
Thank you. No, thank you. Can you hear me?
All right, no, all right, thank you,
Thank you.
Director Gray. I just wanted to make a comment. You know, with the photo op that we had in Rancho Dominguez, and I think that was great, you know, just having an educational tour through the museum and so forth. And I want to thank you to Gus, Tammy, and Aaron for putting on that tour. And I learned a lot that day. It's very, and you know, especially you just go Leslie, you're going down Alameda. If you don't know where this place is at, you're gonna pass it up. And I was like, oh wow, it's like a hidden gem, you know, the facility. But their staff, and I think their staff was talking about putting in extra water bottle filling station, right? So that's in the near future. You'll see that in the near future. Okay. I see no more comments and future agenda items from the directors. So our next item is move for adjournment.
So.
Thank you, everyone.